Morning crew right here on CNC3. As I promised, we're going to be talking about CSEC. Now, there was a meeting yesterday at around 10 a.m. With all regional stakeholders, and they made certain decisions. All papers will be administered at CSEC and keep in the original format, but they're going to be pushed back by about 2 weeks. So it's something that our education ministry said that they were happy with. What we need to do is touch base with the other stakeholders, tutor. So we have the Tobago tutor representative, Mr. Bradon Roberts, on the line. Good morning, sir. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning, Ms. Gray. Good morning to the viewers and listeners to your program.
So is tutor happy? Is Tobago tutor in particular happy that exams are being pushed back at least by 2 weeks?
I would not say we are happy. It's a slight relief that we would have been able to get part of what we would have been asking for in terms of the delay, but we were hoping for a longer period of 3 weeks.
3 weeks, okay. So you got 2 weeks, but you all really wanted 3 weeks.
Minimum, yeah.
Oh, okay. And why 3 weeks?
Concerning the numbers, because while persons are concerned about the students' readiness, more important than that is health and safety at this time. Our numbers are very high. We are not seeing where the numbers are going down fast enough. That within that, because it's a month time from Friday, that exams are scheduled to start. We are not seeing where we will be safe enough to have persons come out. And then when you add the students' preparedness to that, in terms of even with the SBAs and so on, usually teachers literally have to run down students, even in the face-to-face, to get the SBAs done and so on, in time to submit. And then we would have had persons who had the connectivity issues. So it is twofold. So that's why we would have been asking for more time so that at least we would have given the issue of the cases to come down as much as possible, as well as having the students being better prepared for the exam.
Now, the SBA situation was really bad last year. We had a lot of students query the exams. I understand that the ministry said it's going to be reimbursing persons who had to query the results because of
CSEC.
CSEC, yes, sorry, CSEC. With the exam request. How has the SBA management been better this year based on lessons you all would have learned from last year's exam and last year's experience with SBAs? Of course, it would have been the start or first experience with doing exams under a pandemic.
Well, what would have happened actually this year, they would have reverted to the original format of the exam, where you have the paper 1 and the paper 2. I think what the alternate measures that they put in place would have further compounded the situation with the SBA. However, they would have gone back to the original format, so it may not be so much impactful as to lay a blame as to whether it would have been teachers, which was unfortunate at the time, or students where the SBA is concerned. Once it is managed properly, the added difficulty now is that schools are not open for persons to go out and conduct these SB and moderation at this time. So that is where the concern in terms of time, but in terms of reliability, we should be able to do the needful.
I wanted to ask about vaccines. I know I was speaking to a senior teacher yesterday about the delay in the exams, and one of the concerns that they were talking about, and you made reference to it, was the issue of safety, and that she was expressing a hope that not just teachers who wanted to be vaccinated would be vaccinated, but also moderators, exam moderators, and other administrators. How have those discussions been so far?
The issue of vaccines and the vaccination is very important at this time. Considering how the numbers have been going, it does not seem that it will go down by social distancing alone. We will definitely need to be vaccinated at some point in time. However, in the Tobago space, and what I would have been experiencing since the start of the pandemic, it seems as if Tobago is then part of what Trinidad is doing, and it's not where the Tobago is seen as part of the conversation where it flows together. I would have spoken with our official at the division yesterday, They have not gotten any information as to what will be put in place for teachers. However, it seems as if, based on what would have been mentioned by the Minister and the Minister of Health as well as the Minister of Education, that they are making provisions for the teachers and so forth. However, we are not getting that level of feedback in the Tobago space. So it's something I'm continuing to monitor and with the liaison with both officials in Trinidad and Tobago to ensure that we adequately treat with the Tobago teachers in terms of making it available, and all those other persons in the education field who has to be a part of the process, and it is made available in a timely manner, because we know that the first dose will only be fully effective after getting the second dose, and there's a time frame between those two.
Correct. But at least, fortunately, it's the Sinopharm vaccine that most of that is available now, and that allows full vaccination in a much shorter time space, in about maybe a month. One of the things that I wanted to ask about is, even when the exam is held, last year students had to wear masks to come in, but did not necessarily have to wear masks throughout the exam. Where does tutors stand on that now? Are students going to be masked throughout the exam, or is it still optional, but entry and exit, they would have to be masked?
So as mentioned before, our main priority at this for the exams would be on safety. So of course we would want as strict as possible the health protocols to be in place. So we will be in support of having the students being masked. More than that, we would have had these students who would have had more than a year, academic year, where they would have not interacted with their peers. So the concern is that even if they come out and with the exams and so on with their masks, what happens after? I know that we are not so much in control of the CSEC exams in terms of the dates and so on, so we are kind of negotiating with CSEC at this time. However, if there is to be a soaring of cases, or rising cases, after the exam, the conversation will be very difficult for our leaders and persons who are family members, if there should be a higher case rate.
What are some of the procedures you'll want put in place to ensure that students are kept safe while doing their exams?
All right, so the experience would have been that the ministry and the division would have put preliminary things in place, which would then require principals and teachers who have the other duties to do to have a significant role in upholding those protocols and ensuring that they are done. At this time, the need, although we are asking for as little as into the numbers of persons coming out, the ministry and the division needs to ensure that they have enough support persons to uphold the health protocol. We know that there are some of the schools, the principals would have had to be the ones getting the scanners and so on. They need to ensure those scanners are put in place, the soap, everything the school needs in terms of the protocol, they are in place. Last year when I would have been visiting schools, there would have been some schools that did not get hand sanitizer at this point in time. These are things that they cannot lapse with. They need to ensure that everything is in place, so at least we can focus on the exam itself.
What are your colleagues telling you? I mean, I was speaking to, like I said, a senior teacher yesterday, and she's like, they are very, very, very stressed and very concerned about the students' readiness for the exams, their mental health, and also just fundamental safety. Safety for the students and safety for themselves. Because there's some students who are writing exams and their parents have died.
Right. So, as you would have said, and these teachers are quite stressed themselves, as we know that, well, and we have experienced during the pandemic, our teachers have been putting the students' concern above themselves. So there are a lot of our teachers who are trying their best to get the exam and the parents, the students ready, more concerned about that than their own health and safety. There are some teachers who are going over and beyond. There are some who I would try to direct them to positive quotes and so on to ensure that they keep themselves in a positive state of mind. However, yes, a number of them are concerned about the students' readiness, especially those who have had connectivity issues, those who took a while to get devices. there are teachers who are trying their very best to ensure that these persons get the needful. What we would have been asking for in the meantime is that, and which I saw that CSEC would have agreed to, was to revisit the broad topics for the paper two especially. However, we hope that Friday coming, which they said they would have given an update, that they have a significant change to what they would have sent before, so that at least the broad topics, or at least they give enough options so that students can focus on particular areas, be better prepared.
Bradon Roberts, thank you so much for chatting with us this morning. I'm pretty sure we're going to have to be touching base with you pretty regularly as we wait out these 2 weeks for the exams to be held. Thank you so much for chatting with us.
Thank you very much.
All right, so when we come back, we were speaking about